Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back for another edition of Ask an Agent. Yes, I always sing it, and and I'm not the best singer, but you know, I'm just trying to liven it up a little bit so that you guys can have some a little bit of joy and excitement in your life. We are just here, and we are getting ready to have be joined by my special guest, LaKisha Williams. And so while we're waiting for her to join on, I just wanted to, like I said, hop on, give people time to get into the live because we want to make sure that you're able to get your questions answered. It has been a long day, I will tell you all, but I am grateful to be here, grateful to see it, and I'm super excited about today's live. As you know, I will be periodically doing these Facebook lives. I'm going to also be doing them on Instagram. And this is simply just to get your questions answered. In fact, I'm doing 2 lives next week. I'm doing one on Tuesday with a real estate agent. And then I will be doing one on Thursday with another real estate agent. And so, like I said, I have no problem sharing the spotlight. We just want to make sure that you're getting your questions answered, okay? There's, you know, so many real estate agents out here. We always just want to make sure, like I said, that you are able to get your questions answered, that you know what's happening. We're just right now just waiting on my special guest to jump on board here. And so as soon as I see her pop up, we should be good. It says it's adding now. So she should be, you'll see her pop up in just a second. But again, super excited. Hey, she's here.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
I said, this is terrible. I am making a terrible first impression.
It is not a terrible first impression because guess what, girl? They didn't even see that other video. It's not even on there. So this is good. You're good.
I'm like, okay.
You're awesome.
You know, I had to call my 12-year-old. I'm like, Kenny.
That's okay. That's okay. Look, I'm not the expert either. So, you know, I had to try one last week when we started doing this. So it's okay.
Oh,
I think last week we tried 3 times before we really got started. So
okay, so I'm happy that I'm a part of that group. Okay, so
yeah, no worries, you are good. So again, everybody, I just want to welcome you here to our live. We are super excited. Again, we thank you for jumping on board. I do these Ask an Agent lives with different people just to give you a different perspective of the home buying process, the home selling process, the process of even becoming an agent. There are several people that have lots and lots of questions about those 3 different main aspects of real estate. For those that don't know me, I am Nicole Wyatt. My company is Cole's Keys Real Estate, and my special guest tonight is LaKisha Williams, and I'm excited. Super excited. And I asked LaKisha to come on because LaKisha has a story that you need to hear, okay? And it revolves around finance, okay? Mm-hmm. We had a question. I'm just going to recap. Last week, we did our live with one of our lenders, one of our preferred lenders, and we had a question that came up about savings. Yeah. And when that question came up, I said, I need a finance person on here.
I tell you what. Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So, LaKisha, I'm super excited to have you. And ladies and gentlemen, put your little clap hands in the comments. You know, I just want to welcome LaKisha Williams to the stage.
Thank
LaKisha,
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself. And
yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you so much for having me. I have taken off the entire months of January and February to just kind of focus, right? And so I appreciate you having me. It's always a pleasure. Every time we get together, man, I just learn so much. And it's just lovely. Like our little group, our clusters, the groups we have. Hey, Keisha. We just absolutely, we have a good time. So I am a Christian, first off. I am a child of God. I am a mother of 2 amazing children. Lord knows he blessed me. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. I am a serial entrepreneur, I call myself. I've been working for myself for almost 20 years, so that kind of tells you my age. I was married for 16 years, together with my husband for 20 years. I consider myself to be a premature widow, right? And so I know not according to God's plan, but according to what my dreams were and all of that. I am a widow, totally unexpected loss. And I am now an educator. I teach my babies in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and I also get to help people working with J&G Legacy Financial Group. So not a financial advisor just yet, but I am considered a financial professional in the service industry of finance. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. And when you talk about savings, girl, listen, I had to get hardcore to bounce back from the great tragedy that happened in our lives. So yeah.
Well, and a lot of people, you know, when they're looking to buy a home, even when they're looking to sell a home, they're just looking at, hey, what's the fastest way that I can do this? What's the quickest
Yeah.
way that I can do it? And they don't want to go through the process of creating a budget. You know,
Right.
they don't want to go through the process of actually saying no to Starbucks.
Oh,
Okay.
don't do it. You better not. Don't do it. Listen. And here's the deal. What I teach my kids, because I think it's always a learning moment, right? And so I teach my kids, you can make Starbucks at home. You know, you can make your version. You know, and if we spend that same amount in 3 days, you know, that you would spend typically in 3 days, you can make that and have it for a week, you know. And so I just love when they are able to flip that and say, oh, wait, mommy, instead of getting this or whatever the special drink is, I prefer to go to the grocery store and buy all the items and make my own, because that's how we all had to learn, right? And so I had to change a lot of my habits after my husband passed away, because I didn't have 2 incomes, you know, and you know, there were some things that we didn't have in place, which is, of course, I want to share with your audience today, because I think our stories aren't just for us. I think they're for other people as well, and to help protect them from going through what you've gone through, or to share your successes so that they can kind of follow or take your advice, you know. But yeah, girl, saving and saying no to things that you do not want. That discipline and obedience, it can just get you from one place to the next, get you closer to your financial goals. So absolutely. Yeah.
Now, are you all hearing these nuggets that she is dropping? She said being able to say no.
Girl.
Okay. Let me tell you something. I had somebody call me today asking me to help them out, and I had to say no.
Oh, and that's okay. And that's okay, right? And I think there's power in that, right? And I think
Yeah.
on both parties, not just for, you know, you having to say no, but also for that other person where, okay, this opportunity or this resource isn't going to always be available, right? And so then we learn to put other things in place, you know. And so I think that's good. I think that's great communication. I think that's great transparency, and that's something that we need in our community to continue to build that that trust and support. That equals wealth, you know. Like transparency and communication and trust. That's how we're going to turn our community around. So absolutely, job well done. I'm proud of you, girl.
Girl, I had to call my girlfriend, who also happens to be a therapist, to be like,
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I think that's amazing.
yeah. And a lot of people get that anxiety when it comes to buying a home and trying to figure out how they're going to get the down payment, how they're going to get their closing costs, how they're going to get the money for the inspections, how they're going to get the money for the appraisal. They're like all over the place. Miss Nicole, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Well,
right.
Okay. And just take it one step at a time. And it starts with a budget, right?
Yes, take it one step at a time. And exactly what you said, it starts with the budget. And I think that budget should include an accountability partner, right? Sometimes you may want to have a financial advisor. People sometimes aren't aware of, you know, the cost that's associated with a financial advisor, right? You can become one of our clients in several different ways. There's a lot of services that's not associated with a fee, but you have us in your circle to bounce ideas off of, right? And so we always like to have in our circle a realtor, you know, you have a tax professional, you have an attorney, you have these folks so that we can bounce questions off of. And I think that's, I think it's important. So yeah, with your budget, you know, you come up with a vision first. Where do you want, where are you now? Because that's where we want to meet you, right? Our team, we definitely want to meet you where you are, whatever mistakes you've made financially or wherever you feel you should be and you aren't there. I'm a personal trainer as well. People say they want to get in shape before they come and train with me. okay, just bring me yourself. Just come how you are, right? And with all whatever. And our job is to communicate and educate you so that you can avoid making those mistakes, you know. But the budget is also, like I said, being obedient, giving up the things that you don't have to have, and then going hardcore. So there was a time in my journey that I had to really save almost 40%. I reduced everything. I mean, my kids were in private school and I'm like, okay, we're going virtual, right? And so this was just a little over a year ago where I went hardcore just so that I could take that big leap, right? Instead of just kind of maintaining and surviving, I really wanted to get back in that world of thriving, you know, and I had to make all those corrections because I knew that I wanted to help people protect themselves and not go down the same roads that I have. So I had to make all those corrections, you know, and but that budget is tight and it's saying no even when you don't want to. It's finding an affordable reward, you know, because we go hard during the week. We do a lot of work during the week. On Friday, you really want that reward, right? It can't be that purse. It can't be that bag. It can't, you know, it can't be the shoes, but it could be something small that you can enjoy at home, you know, maybe a bottle of wine or whatever your pleasures are. You find a way to kind of still be able to kind of push through, but stick to that plan. So I say an accountability partner. I also say, you know, identifying where your money is going. We have to know where our money is going. I think at the end of the month, if you're like, wait, what happened? We need to go back and really see. And there's a lot of different apps that you can use for that, to really just, you know where every cent has gone. And I think once you learn, okay, I am wasting a lot of money. For my family, we used to spend a lot eating out. And so I'm just like, okay, we need to save all of this. And so we stopped eating out so frequently and as often as we wanted to. I had to start cooking more, you know, but those little things you can put in place and really start saving.
Yeah, exactly. Like the $10 cookbook.
Yes.
Invest in that $10 cookbook that has 100 meals that you can make. Exactly.
There you go.
And it's the same way when you're trying to save for a house. If you don't do like LaKisha said it and lay out that budget, okay?
Yes.
She gave you a great tip in that story. You got to lay out that, but you got to see where your money is going.
Yes.
There is a program out there called NACA, and one of the things that NACA makes you do is write out every single thing that you spend money on, from the things that you track by swiping your debit card to the things that you pay out with cash. Because a lot of times we swipe and don't pay attention, and a lot of times we just dish out the cash and don't pay attention.
Yes. Hey Coco, hey G-Rod. Absolutely, we do. We just swipe, and then at the end of the month you're like, oh my gosh, you know. And so I think just being mindful is like the first step. Like you said, take baby steps. You know, I always, even when I'm reigniting women, you know, we talk about our children's first steps. You know, we called everybody. If cell phones weren't around, then, you know, you were able to like run to your next door neighbor's house to brag about your child taking that first baby step. You know, and I think we need to celebrate those steps that we take and make in life, especially with our finances, you know, because a lot of us, we're starting over, or just as a community, we may not be at that same space or spot that our counterparts are. So we have to be mindful of that, give ourselves some grace, but also go as hard as you possibly can to attain that goal. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And so a lot of times you've got your budget, and now you've laid out what you're going to do. You have to then make a decision to decide what you're going to cut out. Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm going to tell the story, because 5 years ago, it would really be in May, it'll be 5 years. But 5 years ago, I decided to sell my house and take the money and throw it into building my brand, building my marketing for real estate, because I was determined I was going to be successful. So my sacrifice was, all right, well, Miss Barbara, I'm so glad you registered for that NACA workshop, girl. We're going to talk in just a second. I'm sorry, I get distracted by things. But seriously, I sold my house because I needed to make sure that I was going to be successful. And to me, that meant that I needed to find money. So I didn't just sell my house, but I cut out things that I didn't really need. So the $190 cable bill, bye-bye.
Yes.
Come on, $9.99 Hulu.
Yes, there you
That's what I got.
go.
Okay.
Reduce it all. I
Okay.
slash everything. And that brings up a point. We can't be afraid to make a phone call, right? Especially during this season, COVID. There are a lot of programs out there now where they are wanting to reduce your monthly fees and things like that due to, you know, this whole quarantine and COVID-19. So I encourage people, make that phone call. I made a phone call to several different companies. And I said, listen, this is my budget. What can we do? You know, and it's like the kids didn't miss a beat, you know. So when you're talking about all the streaming and this and that, all of these extra things that we didn't even use, those were the first things that I cut. First items that got to go, you know. So absolutely, absolutely. And I love that you invested in your business, though. I absolutely love that you did that,
Yeah,
because
well, I
sometimes we
mean,
just have to take
I'm
that
not
jump.
I'm not telling people to go sell their houses, you know.
You better not.
I'm just telling you what I did, you know, and I had to sacrifice, and it took me I said it was 5 years ago, it was 4 years ago, and it took me from then another 3 years
Yeah.
to buy another house. But that happened in 2020 in the pandemic.
Right.
I purchased
Right.
another house, okay?
Wow.
So
See,
back in business. That's a song that my girlfriend sings, but I am excited. Like, so, you know, I took the break. I took the sacrifice rather.
yes.
It was a sacrifice, and I got rid of the house because I want you to understand. My mindset when I bought my house was I wanted to. Whenever I got married, I wanted to be able to have something to bring
Yeah.
to the table. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But
Absolutely.
I was struggling, okay? And I'm like,
Yes.
I want to be successful. I want to make this work. What can I do? And that was
Absolutely.
something I knew that I could do because guess what, honey? It took somebody literally just saying, you know, you could just buy another house, right?
Yeah.
For
Wow.
me to be like,
Wow.
what? I
It's
could just
so
buy
funny
another
how,
house?
you
Okay.
know what? But thank God they were obedient, right? They said what they thought, right? And so we have no, like, the power of our words is just so important, you know. And sometimes, you know, we even talk about referrals. You know, if you have a great experience with us, we want you to share that information. You know, that's your job. I learned so much from you guys just watching your other live and just hearing the things that you need to have in order, you know. Hearing that, you know, like you said, people want a shortcut. So what's the fastest way for me to get to my goal? And us sharing these stories is how we're going to help the next generation. You know, you entering a marriage with, you know, something to give and something to leave behind for your children. And I'm hoping all that comes soon, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Keisha just put in the comments that sometimes success is a mindset shift. Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
Girl, Keisha, you're dropping nuggets too.
She's
That's
something
exactly
else.
right.
Yeah.
And when it comes to buying a home or having to sell your home or selling your home to downsize or upgrading your home, okay?
Yes.
Get ready because you got to move your in-laws in, you need a bigger place, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
If your mind is not prepared for it,
Yes.
you'll miss
And
steps right there.
I love that, because that is the step that it's your belief system as well, right? And so putting all these things in place, because they aren't easy. Budgeting and saving and all that, it isn't always easy, you know. And so you really do have to change your mindset, you know, and stay fixated and focused on your goal, you know. And so I totally agree. I think everything that we do, especially those, you know, high achievers wanting to accomplish this and attain that, you've got to have the right mindset. I definitely think that, you know, that growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, I think is very important to see yourself growing. Like you said, someone just told you, you know, you can just buy another house. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, let's do this. You know, that's a growth mindset. That is like, okay, and even just you saying, I'm going to invest, I'm going to take this leap of faith and I'm going to invest in, that's a growth mindset. You know, we've got to stop sitting in neutral and really get in the driver's seat of our lives, you know. And real estate, yes, girl, real estate, you know, we always talk about leaving a legacy. And so, you know, real estate and inheriting, you know, we talk about life insurance and things like that. You want your children and your children's children to be able to inherit, you know, and what an opportunity it is for you to be able to have some sort of say in your grandchildren's children's lives, you know? That's pretty powerful. That's where you start to get into that generational wealth and making a difference today for you know, generations to come. So absolutely, mindset is no joke. Love it.
It is no joke. And again, if you all have questions about buying a home, selling a home, finances, mindset, success, even being a realtor, make sure you put them in the comments, because we want to make sure that the purpose of this is for you to get your questions answered. So we want to make sure that we definitely are answering your questions while we are sharing our stories and dropping these nuggets for you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I even in the pandemic, stepped out on faith and opened my own company. I mean, dead middle, we had been shut down for 2 months.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
and God spoke to me and said, hey, it's time to move. For those of you that don't speak to God, I'm telling you now, I do. Okay.
Yes, girl, all the time. I tell you what, and I did a vision board. I did some with the girls that I mentor, but then I did another one, just a more of a professional vision board. And yeah, I mean, a lot of growth occurred during the pandemic. And so I actually joined JMG during the pandemic, and so I think it's very important, Centario, who I think he always brings up an opportunity fund, right? And so we need to start saving so that when these situations, these unexpected times or seasons come, you're not in a situation where you are, kind of step back. You're in a situation where you can actually grow, while grieving, I say, while kind of dealing with the other uncontrollables, you're able to grow. Folks are buying businesses, starting businesses, and several different things during this time, so absolutely, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. You said something just now. You said something a little bit earlier that I want to come back and bring to everyone's attention, because a lot of times once people are homeowners, they have the question, what's next? What do I do next? And that's how I was with my first house. I was like, all right, I got a house. Now what do I need to do? And I probably should have had this in place before I purchased my house. But the next thing that immediately came to mind was, I said, I need life insurance.
Yeah.
I need to have something in the event something happens to me. My mama, is taken care of.
Yes. Absolutely.
How important is it, whether you have a house or not, to make that sense?
Absolutely. And I can tell you, I know all too well. And that is literally my why for becoming an agent, so that I can help others, protect their families, their loved ones, and the most important assets, and so back in 2016, my husband and I, of course, business partners, he came to the office and was like, okay, we're going to invest in life insurance. And we want folks to start looking at it as an investment. We want this thing of it just being for, your burial expenses and all of that. We want to get past that. It is so much more. It's an opportunity for you to change the track that your family is on. It's an opportunity for you to set the next generation up for success. And there's several different types, and it's for you to determine what type is best for you. We want to see your goals. We want to see your net worth. We want to sit down and work with you, and then offer, show you the different products that are out there, which there are several. But protection is, man, if you love the person you're married to and the children you've created and the life that you've built, the person that created you, and let's put some things in place, so that you are, so that you can protect them. Hi, Cornell. Let's get some things in place. It's not, it's not like back in the day, like someone's going to come to your house and take up 2 hours of your time. Like, let's sit down, call me, message me, just hit me up, and let's talk about this. But I am, somehow, I don't know why I do this, but typically when things happen to me, I'll go out and I'm like, let me get my license, because I don't want anyone else to go through this, and so not that it makes the grieving process any easier, but it definitely allows you to grieve in peace without the worry of all the other stuff, because life goes on, and sometimes you will question, like, they're acting as if nothing happened 3 months ago, and a lot happened, and you're sitting there almost paralyzed, kind of just, again, in neutral, kind of being pushed through the next few months of life. And being financially okay is extremely important. And so why not make those decisions prior to? And we always say, you know, we go around and we make sure we have car insurance and renters insurance and homeowners insurance and all of that. Guys, we were born, then we're going to die, right? That is definitely going to happen. And so why not be a part of that, right? And the sooner, the earlier, just like with saving and budgeting and all of that, the longer you have this, the sooner you do it, the more money you're going to save, right? The sooner you do it, the least expensive it's going to cost you, right? And so your health, right, is very important when getting life insurance. That's super important. So yeah. Did you just tell me to write something?
No, you know what? I was too busy in the comments, and Cornell posted Romans 13 verse 8. I was like, come on, Romans, yes.
Ooh, listen, I gotta follow Courtney.
He over there slide preaching for us.
Don't do it. Don't get started on here.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The other day, I was listening to someone else's Instagram story or whatever it is, and excuse me, I sounded old right then.
That's okay, girl. You just sounded wise, like, you know, whatever. There's so many different platforms. That's okay.
That part. And so they actually had Candy Burris.
Yes.
And if no one knows who Candy Burris is, you know, she's a reality star on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
She's from the group Escape. Exactly. She's got multiple businesses. Yes. Okay. And she said one of the things that she had learned, and again, LaKisha is here, for your individual specific, like we're just talking generically speaking here, okay? Yeah. So we can always set up a one-on-one for LaKisha to speak with you and her team to get with you about your personal situation, okay? Yeah. But back to Candy. So Candy said that she has learned that there were people who were they would get life insurance. And they got life insurance. Let's just say it was like on 5 or 6 of their closest friends, right? Like right. Me and you, we get life insurance on each other, right?
Right.
But as people began to pass away, the money didn't go to them, it went to a trust account.
Absolutely.
And this trust account was set up so that their children, when they were ready to buy a house, could come to this trust.
Yes, ma'am.
When they were ready to start a business, they could come to this trust for the down payment.
Yes.
And I thought that was phenomenal. So I wanted to make sure that I said that on this live.
Absolutely.
You all need to get with LaKisha and her team, okay, and see what you can do to start making sure you create a legacy that lives not just to your next generation, but your generations, okay?
It starts now. There are things that you can start doing for your children that, I mean, just a gift of a lifetime, that's what we call it. You know, investing in our young children. You know, I've already started investing in mine. There's so many different ways you can start investing. I mean, people say, oh, what's a good gift? We can share a lot of different options for you, you know, and you would be making a huge difference and really setting the next generation apart. I mean, because that's our main goal. You know, we work hard for our children, you know, so who was that, Camila? So I think it's very, very important that you mentioned that because there's so many creative things that you can do, and it doesn't take a lot, especially when a community comes together. So absolutely.
So again, we are here just to make sure that we get your questions answered, that you have any questions about the home buying process, the home selling process, being a real estate agent, just financing, savings,
yes,
all these things that are needed. We just want to make sure that we're getting your questions answered. So if you do have a questions, make sure you drop them down in the chat. We, as you can see, are reading them because we get easily distracted when they come up.
And I want to say that's the best thing, because like there's a lot of different opportunities for you I'm trying to share on my page, Nicole. I think I did it. I'm not sure if I did it right. Sorry.
No if not, you can always share it afterwards.
Oh my gosh, did I do it right? Okay. Anyway. All right. I did see a message in the chat with 529 plans. Yes. Contact us. Let's discuss that further. It's funny that a lot of people ask about planning for college, you know, and I think when you come to a financial advisor, they are we're going to steer you in the direction of making sure your retirement is together first. Okay. Simply because, and I'll answer that, it's simply because you can't get a loan for retirement, right? There's a lot of different loans that you can get, or for your kids' college funds and all of that good stuff, but you can't get a loan for retirement. But any specifics with the 529, definitely contact us. And we will run all of that good stuff by you. I just got one message asking if you can transfer those and different things like that. So just honestly message me. Once it's one-on-one, I can get into detail. But I have to give you guys a brush over because of our compliance. So.
That's right. That's right. We have guidelines and regulations that we have to stick to. So we want to make sure that we are doing that. You mentioned retirement, which made me think of 401k.
Yes.
And it made me think of that because a lot of people out here don't understand, these people who are in corporate America who have these jobs that you investing in 401k and your company is matching you. Back when I was in corporate America, you could invest up to 10% and
right.
the company would match you up to 5%. So
yeah.
I was investing 15% out of every check into my 401k. Okay,
and that's what
it
we
was
want people
phenomenal.
to do.
And I was only there 5 years, but at the end of that 5 years, I had strategically placed it, okay, and I had over $50,000 when I retired.
Listen, there you go. And what we want, I mean, because if you come to us, we want you to be taking advantage of as many of those opportunities, those workplace saving plans that you can, and so yeah, the 401k, the 403, we want you to definitely look into those. And if you haven't started, that's a baby step. You can do that tomorrow, right? Find out what the match is. And like you said, take advantage of those and start somewhere, but see what the match is and contact us. We can also walk you through that. There's so many, student loan refinancing. We've been working with a ton of people in regards to student loan refinancing, and there are opportunities out there, guys, especially with the season we are in. Reach out, let us walk you through, let us see what you are currently paying and the type of loan that you have so that we can see, or that you received, so that we can kind of see if you fit the profile of these different programs. What is something else that we've been covering a lot? There's also opportunities for those that I'm getting ready to do a couple seminars for churches, just an opportunity to give back. Is that Centario? Hi,
Yeah.
Centario. Oh my gosh. Yes, hit us.
Look, now the pressure is on, right?
Well, you know what? So I literally was just like, because it's funny, our team, now those guys have tons of years of experience, right?
Yes,
and so
yes,
that's what's so great about our team. Now my husband passed away, we were not covered. I need to help protect people, right? That's my why, period. I do not want my sister or my brother to go through anything that I've had to go through. Being an entrepreneur for almost 20 years, my first business was at the age of 19. I've had to bounce back. I've had to, not that it isn't, it's easy. It's not easy at all. But I love being a part of a team, because you're not only getting my services, right? You have the expertise of all these guys. And so if you're interested in investing or whatever you're interested in, you can understand disability coverage through your employer. Okay, like he said, understand your disability coverage through your employer. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because whatever I don't think to mention, they've got you covered. It's a team. And so that's the beautiful part of it. We got so many questions, guys, especially when things start popping up and it's trendy and things like that. Why not have someone that's in this field, a part of your circle, just to kind of help you navigate through different things. I had one of my favorite clients contact me the other day, like, okay, I got my protection in place. It's been about 3 or 4 months. And she's like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. And it's like, okay, come on back. Let's set up a meeting and let's move you forward to the next thing. Because that's our goal, to meet you where you are and help you take those steps to get to where you want to be. And it's also having those other eyes. I remember coming back, and I'll just share a quick story, but I remember training with a boxer, and he had given me like my cadence, like uppercut, whatever. And so I forgot to duck, and he was getting ready to give me or throw an uppercut or whatever. But I looked at his eyes, and his eyes told me to shift, And so we talked about, I said, man, you're a good coach. Something in your eyes told me to shift. And he said, oh, I got him. Okay, J&G or Centario. And so he was like, yeah, your eyes can't see themselves. So my point in saying this is that it's always nice to have someone in your circle that can see things that you may not recognize. And financially, there's a lot of beneficial things that's out there, those things that's going to catapult you to the next level, that your financial advisors they've got their thumb on, right? They know exactly what's kind of going on. They got the pulse of the industry, you know. And so Centario just sent a reminder to sign up for our newsletter, you know. Reach out to us, let us know what's going on. Like he mentioned, the employer disability, you want to know how much they're going to cover if something happened. And I am living the life of unexpectancy, right? My husband suddenly, he was okay on Thursday, Friday he didn't feel well, Saturday he passed away at the age of 40. You've got to have things in place, and the time is now, right? If you're hearing this, and use this as your reminder, right? And it's a simple call to say, hey, I need life insurance, or I need protection, or I need whatever, and we'll take it from there. We have the questions that we'll ask you and the steps that goes along with it. So, but yes, go to jnglegacy.com and jnglegacyfinancialgroup.com and sign up for our newsletter. And you know, make sure you stay up to date with what's going on. Follow us on Facebook. Just so that you can kind of stay up to the updates and the hot items that's kind of out there, and the things that you know you need to know. So yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say this other thing as it pertains to 401ks and home ownership. Okay. A lot of people, LaKisha, if you could just put your phone number in the comments for people, or you can always direct message her as well, okay? But I want to say this for the people who are like, well, how do I save for my down payment? And I have 401k. 401k is one of the few things that you can use as a buyer as your down payment, okay? Now, each specific plan is different, okay? So you have to get with a company, if it's Charles Schwab or you know, Fidelity Investments, whoever's holding your 401k, and get with them and figure out what the penalties are, if there is a penalty. Because most times when you are doing an early withdrawal from your 401k, then they don't penalize you. You have to still pay the taxes, okay, on the money that you're taking out, but they don't penalize you when you're using it for your first home. Your lender can also help you with that as well, because you don't want to take out more than you need either.
Right.
Okay? That money is for your retirement. And LaKisha, let me just ask you this: when it comes to 401k, 401(k), or any other type of investment plan, do I have to be in corporate America to start one of these?
No. And no, you're so good. See, and that's what I love about your lives. I think it's when you have questions like that, even, and actually you just taught me something in terms of purchasing a home. I just love that you said you don't have to take out more than you need, but no, you don't. And there's a lot of opportunities there, and we can kind of guide you in the right direction with that. So that's a very, very good point. When it comes to savings and different things like that, we're going to set you up with a plan that's perfect for you, you know, especially being an entrepreneur, you know, because sometimes we forget all of those things. We're not part of corporate America. We're establishing all of this on our own. So asking those questions is very, very important. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So we've gotten quite a few questions in the chat, and your team partner over there, Centario, is doing a great job of getting those questions answered. For those that are a little bit more specific, thank you so much. We really appreciate that, Centario. I've known Centario for years, back in my network marketing days. Okay.
Oh wow, are you serious?
We go way back. Yeah. So good people know their stuff. Definitely connect with them. Like she said, go to their website, sign up for the newsletter. Guess what? It's free info. Let me tell you, what does it say? The number one thing that people, if somebody doesn't want you to know, what do? They write about it, right?
Oh, come on.
So knowledge is in a book, knowledge is in the newsletter, knowledge is in the newspaper, knowledge is in the articles, knowledge is in the letters. It's written. Knowledge is written.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What does the Bible say? Make it plain, right?
Ooh,
right?
girl,
How do you make it plain? You write it down.
Absolutely.
You make your vision plain by writing it down. You have a vision of seeing your house, seeing yourself in a new home. You have a vision
Yes.
of selling this house that you're in and getting a bigger home. You have a
Yes.
vision of your kids are off in college, right? And
Yes.
you need to downsize because you don't need 4 bedrooms anymore. 3 of them are gone,
There you
right?
go. Ooh,
So if you don't write it down, if you don't make it plain, it won't come.
it won't come. I
Mhm.
love that. Make it plain. And it is, there's some power in writing it down, man, and having it where you can see it. One of my sisters said, man, we take so many notes and, we don't do anything with these notes sometimes, even the notes you're taking
Action
now,
is the
when you
next
get
part.
on the line with it. Yes, take notes and put them out somewhere, implement them and start working on them immediately, So absolutely. Yeah, that's good. I love that.
I was going to say, LaKisha, that goes back to what you said earlier in the live when you
Yeah.
said not just taking action, right?
Yeah.
Earlier in the live, you said, Lord, I just lost my mind because I'm too busy in the chats and not focusing.
I know it is a lot going on. I love this Centennial join though. Like I call him my little big brother, right? Because it's just so those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, y'all, we are rocking and rolling, especially during this time. Everyone is wanting to be better. Like it's kind of phenomenal, and it's a little. I don't know. I can get emotional very quickly. So, but I just love how active we've been and how busy we've been and how the agency is growing. And so yeah. So I love that he joined us because he can go into more specifics for sure. Because I follow their lead with everything. This is like, whatever. But yeah, but I love that. But I probably just mentioned, in terms of, writing things down and actually doing it. You have to put energy to it, right? For it to happen. And so we'll say, oh, I'm going to start doing this next. Listen. And another point, you talked about savings and all of that. We always say pay yourself first, right? And so if you're planning on saving, take that off the top, right? Because if we wait until the end of the month, we tend to save what's left over. And we don't want to do that. If we have a goal and this is what we are really wanting to attain, do it first, and then that will also prevent you from making just these impulsive purchases and these things that you don't need, that Starbucks cup of Starbucks, whatever it is. Not that I'm hating on Starbucks or we're hating on Starbucks, whatever. We love a cup of Starbucks, but just that more pricey cup of coffee or whatever, it will prevent you from doing that, hopefully. So take it right off the top. You can also have, like I said, I use a couple different apps. And I also pull from as soon as I am paid, I pull from that at the beginning of the month and put it into my savings. So, yeah.
So we're down to the last 10 minutes of our live, and I want to always be conscious of everyone's time. I thank you all for tuning in. I'm just going to kind of recap some of the things that we've discussed throughout the live. LaKisha did a fantastic job sharing her story, letting you know her why. A lot of times we don't get into why it is that we help people. For me, it's just something. I actually was thrown into being a natural server as a child, okay? When my parents divorced and I was left to be the one to take care of the household and cleaning and cooking. And by the way, I can cook. So I'm just, I was thrown into that protective, space.
I didn't know that. And and that is, I think it's important for us to share that, right? Because it helps identify why and how you make decisions. The more you know about yourself, and I think even learning that about, looking at your how you grow up or grew up and how you, manage your household and things like that will also help us identify how you treat money, how you work with money and your savings and what's important to you. And I think that's important. I didn't know that. So I just learned something new about you.
Yeah, and so even after my parents divorced, my mother still, she working 2 jobs, would give us an allowance.
Yes.
Based off of your chores and what you were doing. But she also taught us, like, okay, yeah, this is your allowance, but you can't just go spend it to buy popsicles. No. What are you putting in the church? What are you or your donations for those that don't believe in tithing? What are you doing to give back? So I've always had that servant spirit, which is why I do these lives serve you guys for free.
That.
Give you the
Beautiful.
info without expectation. I'm not here to recruit you to be Team Cole, okay?
Right,
That's not
right.
why I'm here. I'm here to make sure that you're living your best life, you're getting to your goals, and
Yeah.
you're making sure that everything you want is coming into fruition, okay?
Yes.
2020 was a bad year, but it wasn't bad for everybody,
Right,
okay?
right.
And it wasn't
Absolutely.
bad because people had things in place,
Yes. And that
okay?
is, and see, so it wasn't bad for us because we went through our low point 2018, 2019. So then, but when you are in a place to give back, it's not your low point. That's when you really do have to give back. That's when you really do have to reach and grab someone else, share the information, you know? So absolutely, absolutely. I do. I consider you a servant leader, and isn't that a pleasure to be, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is, because honey, I'm out here sowing good seeds, okay?
Yes, 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 you are. You and me
Yes,
both, girl.
but so just make sure you guys, the number one thing for getting that down payment together for determining, because a lot of times when people have a house to sell, all they think about is, well, I can just take the proceeds from my sale and use it to purchase this one. And you know, that's really a transaction-based initiative that you need to discuss with the lender to see if the lender will allow all of those funds from your sale to be used, because a lot of times they just want to see something in your bank account.
Mm.
Okay. And when we say in your bank account, I mean literally in a traceable account that we can source. Okay. I've had clients who come to me and they've got mattress money, they've got freezer money, they've got coffee jar money, and they're like, I've got money saved. And I want to tell you, like, okay, well, I need you to get it into an account that we can trace. Okay.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
don't get it into an account that we can trace, we
Yeah.
can't do nothing with all that money. You said you could be a millionaire. We ain't gonna know it because it ain't in your account.
It's not a, yeah. That's
Okay.
interesting. And so I think I love that you share that point, because you can start putting things in place now, right? So it isn't like this immediate thing and then it's like, oh, you didn't have it in there long enough, right? So I asking all of that, right?
Yes,
You got
you
it.
have to have it. It has to be in your account for at least 60 days, people.
Yeah.
60 days, and they call it seasoning. It has to season in your
Yeah.
account. You know, like, let me talk to my cooks for a second. You know how when you need to marinate something, right? You
Yeah.
don't just put the marinade on and let it sit for 10 minutes. It has to sit like overnight, right? To get a good
Yes.
marinade going on. That's what they mean about your money. You need to sit there a good 60 days for them
Listen.
to know it's really
Yeah,
yours.
I'm so upset. Santario just had to get off because his wings, y'all, he has a wing recipe. Call him to ask him for it. I'm telling you what, set up a meeting, but tell him he's got to bring the wings.
That's right. That's right.
Let it sit.
That's
It's
right.
got to sit for a while. But see, I think those are the things that can kind of set our, our community or some of our folks back. And that's simple, tips. And if you just ask, we'll share. And so, yeah, I know you're getting ready to recap, but I just want to encourage everyone, like I said, no matter where you are, we can meet you there, and so we have a team of resource. It's pretty amazing what's at our fingertips. So whatever services you need, reach out to us for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So we've told you about savings. We gave you a couple different ways, well, more than a couple different ways to save. We told you about writing a budget. We told you about making your vision plain and writing it down, even doing a vision board if pictures work better for you. I actually have two different vision boards, one with pictures and one with actual words.
Yes.
Okay.
A little business plan.
Okay. Okay. Business plan, exactly. I told this in the last live. My previous firm that I was with, every year you had to write a business plan. You had to tell them how you were gonna get money. And one of the ways one year that I came up with is I said, well, hey, I'm gonna just start giving people free info. I'm gonna do free workshops. And whether one person showed up for the workshop, 12 people showed up, or zero, we did the workshop as if someone was sitting there, even when no one showed up. Because we wanted to make sure that people were still getting the info. We wanted to make sure we were putting it in the atmosphere. Well, guess what? COVID happened. Now we can't do these lives. I mean, we can't do it in person. So we're doing the lives now. We're giving you the info. So every week I'm going to have somebody different. In fact, I'm doing 2 lives next week. So on Tuesday, I will have Tanika Burris with Allied Mortgage with me. And then on Thursday, I'm going to actually have another realtor on here, okay? And I'm going to have her on here because, number one, I'm not afraid, okay, to share the spotlight with someone who does the same thing that I do. Why? It's enough money for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's
number
the
one.
thing too. You know, that's why I love the women I'm around. I love the men I'm around as well. You know, just great circles. I think that was just Sarah. Hey, Sarah. And
That's my little cousin.
I think that's important to, know that it takes a community, and you can always learn from someone, and there's so many, oh gosh, people to serve, if you would, because that's what I do. I don't look at myself as a sales this or sales that. I serve people. I love to help people,
Yes.
Reignite is all about reigniting people after a major setback. How do I get you to jumpstart, your life back? And so all of my stuff just fits into, but why can't I coach with another coach? I mean, I coach with another coach often, why not have my partners that, one of the founding partners join us and help filter, why not have another realtor share some of their advice? And, I think that's great. I think that's where, our community and just and I say community meaning, just folks that's wanting to get through this and learn through this and grow through this. That's how we're able to do it on another level, So I think that's awesome, and I commend you. I think these are great. It's a great platform, and it's a great way, like you said, to always give back, to always have the ability to give back through this. So I've had fun. I've had a blast with you. So thank you.
I'm so glad that you were able to join us tonight. The information, the nuggets, the tools that you have given us were priceless. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for doing this for free. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime.
On Thursday, I'm going to have another realtor with me, Shanti Holloway. Now, that girl, she's actually in the Raleigh-Durham market, but she is phenomenal and making great strides. But particularly why I said I'm going to have other realtors on here because I know one thing. Someone can tell you something over and over and over, but if it's not the right person telling you, you won't get it.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to hear it from someone else before you get it.
Well, and I tell, yes, and speakers and coaches, a lot of people will just edit so much. They edit themselves to the point where, wait a minute, you're changing the messenger, right? And so I take it back to God. It's like, no, He has given you this message, this story to present because that person needs to hear it from you. And sometimes you just have those aha moments like, hold on, I've been telling you this all this time. It's just like your kids, right? Maybe I can tell my daughter something 5 times, but my mom can say it in a different way. And all of a sudden,
and it
this light comes on.
Yes.
So absolutely. I think that's wonderful. I think that's great. And I think sometimes it's based on your experiences, right? So they may have experienced something that you may have not experienced, and they're able to share that. Hey, Melissa. So absolutely. I think that's great. I will definitely tune in. Coco.
Well, again, I just want to, thank you for coming on. Thank you, everyone that joined the live to watch. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for your comments. You can always direct message us with any additional questions that you didn't get a chance to ask while you were on the live. If you didn't see it all, it is going to be on my page. My page is open. I don't block people. I do block people, but I just mean it's a public page. So anybody can go to the page and review the live and the live that we did last week. The next live again will be next week Tuesday and next week Thursday. Thank you. You all have a good night.
All right. Bye, guys.